Hello, my name's Ben,
And my name is Josh.
and welcome back to FPL Graduates, and welcome to an FPL Graduates video. It's been a while since we've done a video rather than a live stream, but here we are, Josh.
Yeah, we're here today to talk about what is the best chips to use. Obviously, there's only 8 game weeks left of the season. It's coming thick and fast. So we're going to tell you when to use your free hits, bench boosts, and wildcards if you still have them left, Ben.
Yeah, so we'll just quickly go through what chips we do in fact have left. For myself, I have a wild card, I have a free hit, and a bench boost still to use before the last game week of the season. Josh, how many chips do you have?
See, Ben's covering all bases. For me, it's not looking as good. I've just got my bench boost left. I've just used my free hit in the last game week. So, yeah, thin ground for me. But hey, let's get into it, shall we?
So my strategy is going to be using my free hit in game week 33. It's an interesting strategy, and it's one I think a lot of FPL managers are going to take. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yeah, it seems quite popular in the community for those who have saved their chips this long. Obviously, a lot of us have, like myself, used it a little bit earlier just because they've built their team on the earlier wildcard. It all is dependent on when you use your wildcard, really. And obviously, Ben's saved his. Game week 33 is going to be a great double game week as well. There's 7 teams doubling, 3 teams blanking. So using a free hit in this game week is ideal, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's worth also checking sort of in towards game week 33. Look at your FPL team and look at who has blanks and who has a double game week to see whether it's worth it for you. For me, I think it's going to be worth it regardless because I've still got that one free hit chip left. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And yeah, there are a couple of teams in here that I think you should probably be targeting.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think Leicester are one of the main ones. Their fixtures are looking really, really nice. Obviously, facing Newcastle and Everton, 2 games that you'd probably cherry pick. To be fair, obviously Newcastle improved a little bit as of late, but Everton in that relegation battle still. Arsenal as well, Southampton and Chelsea. They're fighting for top 4 as well. It'll be interesting to see what team Chelsea put out because obviously they've almost secured top 4 by now. So we shall see. Who are you looking towards, Ben?
Well, I think it's interesting that you sort of talk about the double game week teams because I think Manchester United against Norwich is a really, really good fixture for them. And the Liverpool game is almost like a bonus for them. I also think that Manchester City should be on the radar. They're playing against a Brighton and Hove Albion team who are already on the beach realistically. They've over the last 5 game weeks, they've recorded the 3rd worst defensive stats in the whole league. So they're not doing too well on that front. And I think it could be one to really target because that fixture's looking quite tasty for me.
Yeah, some decent fixtures in there. The teams that blank as well, Villa, Leeds, and Wolves. So a lot of players that maybe people have had because of the doubles in previous game weeks are not playing. So obviously those Wolves assets probably time to let go of them, especially Raul Jimenez. Obviously he picked up that suspension. So he's one to get out for sure. But we'll move on into game week 35. We're going to look at specifically in terms of when to use your next chip. This is just because it's going to be wildcard time, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think game week 34 or 35 is the optimum time to use your wildcard if you haven't used it already. And I think it is very much dependent on injury news prior to game week 34, whether you do hit that a week early. Game week 35, yes, I think the wildcard's great to use because it can benefit you going into the huge double game week in 36 that we are anticipating. So, when you're doing this wild card, make sure you bear in mind sort of the next 2, 3, 4 game weeks going forwards for your team. And for me, when I'm wild carding, I'll have game week 36 at the forefront of my mind because I'm going to want to load up on assets ready to use my bench boost chip.
Yeah, 100%. You got to bear in mind as well, like Brighton, you just mentioned previously, who's on the beach, who's fighting for something. Because you're going to want those teams that are going to be playing their best team week in, week out, because you just don't want to be hit by rotation and all those types of things that you get hit towards the end of the season because teams just don't need to play their best squads. They're in other cup competitions as well. So teams like that will be the top 4 teams that are fighting for it. So you're looking at United, Arsenal, Spurs, maybe even West Ham, and obviously Chelsea, obviously Liverpool and Man City. As FPL managers, we want that title race to go down to the absolute wire. So we have the best FPL assets available to us that will be playing as well. Who else are you looking to target in this wildcard at the minute, Ben?
Oh, Everyone. Because I'm looking to bench boost, I'm going to try and pick optimum players from sort of each team that has potentially a double game week. So for me, I'm looking at potentially bringing in some Liverpool players. If they have a double game week, there's a possibility I could have three of them in there. There is a slight, and I mean slight, sort of like probably below 20% chance of a triple game week for Chelsea. But I doubt that's going to happen really. But yeah, a double up on all the big teams for me, at least, is going to be unbelievable. It's worth noting as well, Man United will probably have a single game week, Brighton away. So it might only be worth sort of having one of those players in there. But yeah, I think having a spread of teams and players is going to be good for this. So it could be potentially where I have sort of 11, 12 double game week players going into game week 36 as a result of the game week 35 wildcard.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, right now, we do not know the Game Week 36 doubles just yet. They haven't been confirmed, but they will definitely be in Game Week 36, as we always know. So obviously, these are the single fixtures that you can see on screen at the moment. As of when we do know and the Game Week 36 doubles are confirmed, we'll make another video on what teams to target and what players to target specifically. But for me, obviously, a lot of people might not be in the situation that Ben's in with all those chips available. I'm using my bench boost in this game week too. And I think if you plan it smartly enough, you'll be able to know. You sort of know already. If you go to Ben Crellin's Twitter account, the link will be in the description. He literally plans out the games and the probabilities of what games will be doubling when. So you can sort of use that as a rough guide to decide when and who you're going to bring in. But I think there's going to be a lot of assets. Obviously, the main teams probably are going to be the ones to target, depending on, obviously, like I said earlier, the title race, the top four race. If teams fall out of that, you're probably not going to want to target them as much because obviously Champions League as well. But yeah, it's looking really interesting. Who are you looking specifically, Ben, player-wise, to bring in the next couple of weeks, maybe?
So for me in game week 33, I'm probably going to end up having a couple of Leicester players. From there. Harvey Barnes, in particular, I've already got him in the squad, but there's potential that he could be transferred out this week to sort of optimize my game weeks. In terms of game week 36, though, like you're looking probably towards the big hitters. City, who could potentially have Newcastle at home and Wolves away. Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs are all likely to have double game weeks. So it is all the big hitters that could potentially get a double game week. So it is really a time that we're looking forward to. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait because as soon as that gets announced, the planning can well and truly begin.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun end to the season. Make sure you stay subscribed to the FPL Graduates YouTube channel to keep updated. We'll be bringing out a lot more content over here towards the end of the season and obviously the start of next season too. So make sure you stay subscribed and check out all our socials as you see down below. And we hope you like the new layout. Hey, Ben?
Yeah, it's always a work in progress over at the FPL Graduates channel on YouTube. And we hope that some of you guys who are watching can stay around and subscribe to us as well. But as per usual, yeah, I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And we'll see you guys
later. Have a good game week, everyone.